in Sammy and Alex's new house. And after all the excitement of the previous night, the triplets have forgotten to do their homework, their first assignments for school, because today is their first day. All very excited, so they decided to get up really quite early and get cracking. And obviously, because there's three of them, they can kind of help each other, which is a really good thing. And they're all going to be in the same class anyway, so that should work out. What? I haven't got a clue what just happened there, but they're dressed for school, and that's all that matters. Maybe they haven't perfected the art of getting changed yet. There you go, that's how you do it. So Sammy's clearly come down to see what all the commotion is about, because it is only 5 o'clock in the morning. And seeing as she now knows that they're not larking about, she'll probably give them a hand, no doubt, when she's ready. If she can remember what to do. Oh, Alex has come along as well. I imagine they're quite used to getting up quite so early when the three of them were little toddlers. Not a lot of quiet time. So things are going to be quite different now. It's quite a big change when kiddies go to school. You know, if you think about previously, the house was quite chaotic, quite noisy, quite lively, and now all of a sudden they're going to get some quiet time. And that's going to take quite a bit of getting used to, I imagine. But it happens to all of us, unfortunately. All the parents out there will acknowledge that. But I think one by one they are getting ready for school.
Oh, your bonds.
Oh, Infa. Oh, Vidish.
There we go, one by one. Homework is being finished, and off they pop to school.
Parsagop Rabe. Ina Tribna Vimpa Shuna Larkim.
Somebody clearly doesn't know the answer to that one.
Hooray.
Right, the kiddies are out at school now, and this big house is very, very quiet, and they are just taking advantage of this quiet time.
Yibs, Tombra. Chob, Loggett,
Oh, Vadish.
Suppose they've got chances of going off somewhere now during the day while the kids are at school. Something that they never really knew, because if you remember, Alex came over quite sort of promptly. But there's plenty of time for that. Lots of exploring to do. That'll be nice. Another big change, of course, is over at the House of Doom, because Mariah is now a young adult, and she's having a chat with Nadine and Tessa about what she wants to do with her life. She's thrown a few ideas around, and she decided she wants to try and be a cocktail maker. So she's recruited these two to test out her cocktails, but the unfortunate thing is it's 10 o'clock in the morning and she makes an awful mess, so she's cleared off and left Nadine to clean the bar, which is very typical, really. Now, the thing is, where has Mariah disappeared off to? Well, if you're drinking cocktails at 10 o'clock in the morning, there's only one place you can be, really. Now that, my dear, is a lesson learned. There's a time and a place for cocktails, and it's not 10 o'clock in the morning in the bar in your own home. Now, you better clean that toilet before anybody else walks in. But she's not deterred. Cleaned herself down, And it's back to the bar to make more cocktails.
Oh. What?
Actually, it makes you wonder how somebody so young can be so good at making cocktails. Now, I saw Sammy do that a few episodes ago, so maybe she's been getting lessons from her. It's a possibility, I suppose. But nevertheless, I think it's something that she really needs to probably investigate and see whether this is the career for her. Or has she got something else in mind? So I think it's about time we had a look and see how Lynda is getting on with Charlie. She's thinking that she's going to cook a bit of supper for when he finishes work. Now, unfortunately, Lynda's not the best cook, so she's making a bit of a pig's ear of it, but she's trying her best anyway. So give a quick call to Charlie to see if he wants to pop over. Can't see him saying no, really. There we go, supper is served. Just got to wait for Charlie to arrive now. As if by magic, here he comes. Well, they're obviously getting on very well now, and supper seems to be going down rather well. Certainly been a difference in Lynda since she met Charlie, and it's all good. And Charlie clearly seems quite keen as well. But I don't think we should rush these things. I think we should let things take the natural course. Oh, I think they're off to watch some TV. Now, I haven't really concentrated much on Shirley, David, Toby and Dusty since they moved to Newquest, so let's pop over and see what's going off there. Yes, it is 5:30 in the morning, but David's up early, getting some extra homework done. He's not doing brilliantly at school. He's a grade C student, and he is getting quite close to leaving now, and I think he understands that he's really got to knuckle down and get some work done if he's going to get on in life. And if it means getting up at a ridiculous hour of the morning, then sadly that's what you've got to do. I think quite a few people can associate with that. I know I can. But when they're up, he's got the support of his brother and his sister. They've just left school. But for now, it's just him up. I mean, who else would want to get up at this time in the morning?
Ah, Sukna board.
It's not that he doesn't enjoy school. I just think there's been a bit of an upheaval in his life, which has unsettled him a bit. But never mind, homework's finished for now, so what are we going to do? What we all do when we finish our homework, we have a dance. Dusty's up now, and she's just noticed that there's some pans hanging up on the ceiling in the kitchen.
Polino!
And now Toby's up. What do when they're not looking the best? They take a selfie, which hopefully would not end up on social media. And Shirley's up as well. So Toby and David are having the brother talk now about work and about school, and it's the usual conversation. Are you keeping up with your homework? Are you doing what you should be doing to get on? And David's like, yes, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. And it's getting close to going to school now, so off you go. And as if by magic, you get changed and disappear into thin air. Wish I could get around like that. It'd make life a lot easier. And now Toby and Dusty are having their usual morning chats. They're very close, these two. Dusty was adopted just after Toby was born, and so they have grown up together and they have got a really strong bond. So it's breakfast time now, and what would you do for breakfast? Well, burgers, of course, on the barbecue. Even though it's autumn and the weather's getting a bit cooler, but hey-ho. Dusty's an adult now, she can do what she likes, and if she wants to cook burgers, she will cook burgers. So back at Sam and Alex's house, and things are a bit quiet now the triplets are at school. Alex has taken up painting. Sammy has taken up laughing at Alex's painting. There's not a lot going on in these lives at the moment. They've got this nice big house, and I think Sammy's getting a bit bored, to be honest with you. So it's 3 o'clock and the triplets are now home. After a hard day at school, Sammy's off to greet them. And they're asking now if they can get together with all the other kids from Newquest and go roller skating. And Sammy says, well, if you just mind your language, young madam, you can go. So she takes that as a yes. So, it's raining a little bit, but that's never stopped kids doing what they want to do. So they're going to give roller skating a go. Nobody's been before. This should be fun. This has been a really good bonding session for the kids. They haven't really got to know each other much, but this has been a really good evening, and as it's getting a bit late now, the pot keeper is cooking up some franks and beans and things for them to have a bit of supper, so he's just called them over to have something to eat. I think it's really good that these start bonding now, because obviously they are going to play a pretty big part in the future of Newquest, and I dare say there'll be a few of the kids born before they grow up, but for now everybody is trumping and getting on really. Of course they're having franks and beans, and that always makes people a little bit windy. But anyway, it's getting a little bit late now, so people are drifting off home. Just the This is getting very windy. Yes, the girls are off now. Oh, even the park keeper's getting in on the act. Now, how's Lynda and Charlie getting on? Oh, that's how Charlie and Lynda are getting on. Sorry, guys, I'll leave you to it.
Merkid Quinofa. Yep.
Now, it's getting pretty close now to Will and Stephen's wedding. And they're just having a bit of a chat now because tomorrow they're going to go and have a look at a few wedding venues. Tessa's just been for a run. And even though she's sat outside checking her dating app, which she seems to be spending an awful lot of time on at the moment, I think she is noticing it getting a little bit chilly. So I think it's a good idea if you go in and get changed. But you can still stay on the dating app, that's not a problem, if that's what you want to do. So it seems now that Tessa is really the only adult that is single, but she's quite happy about that. She doesn't really want to get involved with anybody. But it's been a long day, so I think it's time to get a bit of shut-eye. Night-night, Tessa. So the first venue is over in Willow Creek. So let's have a quick look at it. There's plenty of tables for afterwards, which is nice, and there seems to be a kitchen area over there as well, which is nice. Is that I think that might be where the cake goes. Now, what about the actual seating itself? Oh, very plush, very nice. And the altar seems to be quite nice as well. What do you think, chaps? Is that okay for you? Oh, doesn't look like Will's very impressed. Stephen neither. The next venue is over in Oasis Springs in the desert, which I suppose would be good, even though it is autumn and it is getting a bit cooler. It'll be quite warm and sunny in the desert, so this is a possibility. Let's have a look. What's a nice feature as you go through the gates? Nice waterfall. What's the altar like? Well, there's plenty of seats there, so that's good. Oh, now then, look at that water feature. That's rather nice. So what do you think to this one then, chaps? Will's not impressed, but Stephen likes the water. Now this is a possibility. The Stargazer Lounge in the city, in San Myshuno. They have had wedding events here in the past. So they're going to have a quick look round. Nice big pool up there, and it's right on the very top of the building, look. So I think that would be quite impressive for a wedding. So while they have a little chat about this, they're gone to, well, it'd be rude not to have a drink while you're there, wouldn't it? So that's what they're going to do. Obviously they'll get a late license, so they'll be partying all night if they choose this venue, which I think might be a good idea. But then it's not me to make the decision. And the final venue is the little church over at Brindleton Bay. So they've got a nice area at the back for partying, and I think there's some speakers there. But I think we need to have a look inside and see what it's like. Well, it's fairly basic, isn't it? And actually, it kind of reminds me of the church that Nadine and Ben got married at, and we all know how that ended. Oh, but Will seems to like it. And Stephen seems to like it as well, so I think this could be their choice. Derek has a school project to do. He's been putting it off a bit because he's a little bit rebellious and didn't really want to do any homework, but I think on a quiet Sunday when there's nothing else doing, then he might as well get it sorted out. Not quite sure what it's going to end up as, but Mariah's come to give him a hand, which is nice. Having just left school herself, she knows all about these school projects, so she's going to help wherever she can. And I think since Derek was born, Mariah, being the youngest, she's kind of taken over the role as like a big sister, which I think both Derek and Nadine have really appreciated.
Chabin Durkeem.
I want to come to have a chat, and I can see that he's dressed in his pride outfit, so I wonder if, in the middle of doing this project, he wants to talk about the dance routines. I don't think he'll be getting involved in the homework, though.
Forney Fatoza Bab.
Floopy.
Pneops.
Oh, and Fora.
Gibbs.
Okay, well, I think it's time you disappeared and let the these two get on with the project, otherwise it's never going to get done. And I do believe it's finished. Well, they seem quite pleased with it. What is it? I can't really see what. Oh, it's like a little castle thing. How nice.